The numbers may surprise, but the numbers don't lie.
We could start by taking a look at what CNN has to say.
Is it our favorite pollster again?
It is.
Remaking the United States of America. We can start there with tariffs. What are we talking about? No tacos for Trump. The effective tariff rate, get this, 18%. It is the highest, Omar, the highest since the 1930s, up from, get this, just 2% last year. As I'm going to talk about in this segment, I can't think of a more influential president during this century, and it starts here with tariffs. He said he was going to raise tariffs, and despite the claims otherwise, he is in fact doing that. The effective tariff rate at this point looks to be 9 times as high as it was last year, the highest since the 1930s in FDR, Omar.
And the effective tariff rate is up from 2% last year, for those that might see the banner there. Tariffs, though, aren't the only way Trump's remaking policy in America.
It is not the only way that Trump is remaking America. What are we talking about? Well, let's jump. The other big thing that Trump ran on, right, was immigration. How about net migration into the United States? Get this, it's down. It's going to be down at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States in 2025. That would be the first time there is negative net migration in this country in at least 50 years. We're talking about down from 2.8 million in 2024. So Donald Trump has always run on tariffs, and he's run on a hawkish line on immigration. And on both of those issues, we are seeing record high tariff rates for this century going all the way back into the early part of the 20th century. And when it comes to immigration, net migration, we are seeing record low levels, way down from where we were during the Biden administration. We are potentially looking at negative net migration for the first time in at least 50 years. And that is a big reason why that I'm saying that Trump, at least in my mind, is the most influential president, certainly this century, and probably dating a good back chunk into the 20th century as well.
I think that's very interesting. Specifically, the comparison between migration and net migration, because I think the numbers we've seen in the past is that at least like cross-border encounters, so illegal immigration, is down like 94%, right? So that's why the 60 number kind of seems very different, but the answer is that the 60 number is net migration. So that's when you're counting in probably illegal migration plus legal migration plus people who leave the United States. And that's that kind of balance. Surprising, I guess, how many people are leaving the United States. Maybe it's all those liberals who promised to move to Canada when Orange Man Bad becomes president.
I don't know, but the reality is again, the number that floats around is roughly 20 or 21 million people with some reduced level of documentation that were accepted into the United States in the prior 4 years. The issue is that now for the last couple of months, I believe, we've had like zero. Even Trump chuckles and goes, that can't be right. It can't be absolutely zero. But the numbers that are being published are that zero illegal crossings into the United States for the last couple of months. And that, coupled with a bunch of other things, has resulted in essentially the country going to having stable borders, and actually now through deportations and through other mechanisms to discourage people just coming into the country willy-nilly, the numbers have changed. On the flip side of that, huge amounts of revenue are coming in from these tariffs, which offset a number of other things and the complaints that people had regarding the big, beautiful bill and the budget and so forth. The thought was, well, but yes, but the government, when it calculates the net efficiency of the bill, it's not looking at tariff income. And that's a substantial, huge, massive amount of income. And people say, well, that's hypothetical and so forth. But now we're seeing that there is a huge amount of money flowing into the United States, plus all the investment, as we discussed in the last podcast episode. Listen, we can only hope that things continue positively for our country. Time will tell. And there were a lot of naysayers as to what Trump was saying that he was going to do or what he is trying to do. If it works, God bless us all.
I think that this is a nail in the coffin to the Democrat argument from just about a year ago that the problem with the border is that, well, in their words, the Republicans are not willing to sign additional bills to grant the president more power over the border. And even then, I was saying very clearly, it's about enforcement of current laws. We don't need new bills, new laws that half of it ends up funding Ukraine or who knows what. Like, that's not what we need to protect the border. What we actually need to protect the border is enforcing the laws we have on the books, right? We've been doing it for many years. When we enforce those laws, it's effective. When we don't enforce those laws, it's ineffective. When the president tells the Border Patrol to hold the gate open to allow the flow of illegal immigrants through, then it's 10 times as damaging, right? So the whole Democrat argument saying, hey, like this is only because the Republicans are unwilling to sign additional bills and giving additional funds, because what we need is more money printing, which obviously creates inflation and makes the poor poorer. But what we really need is more money printing to solve the border crisis. It's like, no, all we need is a change of policy, a change of personality. And even like on day one of Trump's presidency, border crossings fell dramatically because the world realized, okay, that's it. The Joe Biden time of partying your way into the United States is over. And now there's a real border again. And all it took is just that change in the mindset, not changing any rules, no additional funding. Like all of that was just pure BS that the Democratic elite were trying to sell us to gain more funding for who knows what. We're in these, pork-filled bills that they were trying to pass.
No, totally. In fact, former President Biden had said, "Oh, I would stop the influx of people across the border if I could, but we need Congress to, enact new laws." And again, as you pointed out, that's been proven completely false. We just had to again enforce the laws on the books. But again, that's where we're at, and I think that it's important for us to keep an eye on the ball and see which direction our country is headed.
Definitely keep an eye on that ball. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And for more, watch our other content and full episodes of the YoJoe Show podcast.